Due to YouTube guidelines, I have to make a warning. Warning, the author's video does not support the figure mentioned and goes over his ideas purely for educational purposes. By continuing to watch this video, you as a viewer take the responsibility for ideas you may get from this video. Enjoy the video. Elliot Rodger, a quite famous figure nowadays. For some a meme and a joke, while for others, he's a saint and just the motivation to take action. Both of these are caused by his beliefs. His beliefs are now associated with the beliefs of modern incels. Elliot Rodger, during his act, as he calls it, retribution, has killed 6 people and injured 14 people. And looking at his video diaries and his manifesto, we can make a conclusion that most of these people didn't fall under the criteria of attractive, or neither were they active and bad. In fact, I'd say 3 people whom he killed would actually fall into criteria of similar or below. Looking back at his manifesto, we can see he planned to get rid of his roommates, only to be later able to use the room as a trap. He didn't plan to get rid of them because of their looks or because they had a partner, just because they were in the way. In fact, they didn't fall in any sort of criteria. He had planned to get the attention of attractive people by taunting and forcing them to come inside. However, his plan was unsuccessful, as he failed to realize that not many people are actually prone to fall for his provocation. It actually shows he has no idea how other people may think. While it is normal to not be able to fully understand others, it is not normal to not be able to understand why some people might not think the same way as you do. Due to that, all his victims didn't fall under his criteria of those who he deemed as not deserving to live another day. For that, I will criticize him. He removed people with whom he had the chance of becoming friends or even dating, but due to the fact he decided to ruin theirs and his own life, he had taken his own and others' chance. I'm not mad at him for doing the attack, but for doing it to the innocent people. He even believed they were innocent, as they didn't follow the description of his targets. He did it purely out of sadism, with a sadism caused by a wish of revenge. I'd say so, but we'll never know the truth. I'll give him credit for actually establishing his ideas and writing them down. It is useful to express yourself. In fact, I'd say he was pretty good at expressing himself. Overall, that's probably the only thing he was good at in terms of mental health. Although it does seem quite a bit performative. In the film which you can see right now,
girls, I will destroy you.
he has a bad, evil laugh, really performative, and if we look back at his victims, realize that they have been random people, and with the hate he had removed them from life, 25 and 15 wounds to each of his roommates. And it is to those who actually were quite similar to him in terms of loneliness. It seems he was overall just performative. I believe he was performative with his beliefs too. He had never actually tried to approach a female and yet said he was rejected. He had lied about the incident where he came to a party and was trying to push girls off the balcony and got pushed off in response. Instead of saying he started it, he was quiet about it and just made it seem like he was pushed off for no reason. He wrote that in his own diary and manifesto, and yet he still lied about it. Even where he has to be real, someone he can be honest at, every time he writes, he lies, so people will feel bad for him. I'll read first paragraph of his manifesto.
Humanity. All my suffering in this world has been at the hands of humanity, particularly women. It has made me realize just how brutal and twisted humanity is as a species. All I ever wanted was to feed and live a happy life amongst humanity, but I was cast out and rejected, forced to endure an existence of loneliness and insignificance. Anyways, all because the females of the human species were incapable of seeing the value in me.
You might feel bad at first, but then if we check his surroundings, we find out that he actually had friends. In fact, more than one. However, the issue is that he pushed them away by constantly crying about his life. That was his main issue, not being able to move forward. He always struggled with women and would focus on that issue. But if he just went along with his life, he'd get them naturally. However, I don't think his main problem was that he liked a girlfriend or friends. He'd always get something to cry about. With friends, he'd cry about women. With family, he'd cry about friends. And I believe he got a girlfriend. He'd either look for a better looking one or would cry to her about his family. You need to understand that Elliot Rodger's problems weren't just in lack of something, but inside of his head. Mental ones. However, why'd he blame loneliness for it? He was looking for answers to his problems. Why can he be ever happy? It is good to look for answers, but sometimes you need to understand why and instead focus on how to solve something. If a fire bursts, it's not really important how it started, but mostly to stop it as quickly as possible or get to safety. You won't sit for hours figuring the circuits and blaming the people who set them. Instead, you take a fire extinguisher and put the fire down, call your insurance company, and then figure out why it started. I mean, if he truly wanted to lose his virginity, he'd probably look at the forum sites where he had been complimented by girls. Not one, but 3. Here, I'll show 3 photo proofs. He didn't interact with the girls after getting complimented. I mean, to be fair, it was on a site meant for teenagers, and he browsed on it at the age of 20, which actually shows that Elliot had some strange morals. Because if he had been more desperate, he'd text them and would try to do something with them, but he did not. How strange. I mean, how about that girl whom he hugged in the premiere of Hunger Games? Why couldn't he get her number or even mention her the slightest? He's a photo proof you don't believe me. And there's videos online in premiere too. He only made himself to look like a loner. He made a story to make himself look like a loser. He wanted an excuse to leave. He wanted to leave without seeming like an idiot, but as a loner. I mean, I think Elliot actually believed in what he said. In fact, I'll make an outrageous claim and say that he just used it all as an excuse for what he did. Had he been truly lonely, he would at least try dating sites or talk to women in real life, considering he wasn't scared to push women from the balcony and wasn't too scared to spill drinks over couples. But what do I know? I mean, look at his forum posts. He'd always cry about issues, but he never asked about solutions. He just asked why and asked about the consequences of doing one crime or another. There's no way Elliot was that crazy about his ideas. I don't think he believed in 60% of what he said in My Twisted World. It is a character to hide his soft and weak nature. Look at another shooter, Mark Lepin. He was also a misogynistic person, and yet, at his location, he only targeted women. There's an example of a person who was truly convinced that women were the one to blame, while Elliot has made an excuse to do what he did. He believed there was no future for him, which I can understand. I mean, that man changed university multiple times and couldn't adapt to a normal middle school, which is why he went to a special high school. I mean, overall, Elliot's good was that he wrote his ideas, but bad is that he never truly believed or committed to something, and pulled innocent people with himself. He's blind, and yet he tries to lead the way, which makes him a terrible choice for a saint or whatever. I hate murderers, but murderers no real excuse are even worse. That's why Elliot is just a pathetic man with no excuses or beliefs. Looking for whatever may let him do a terrific crime. However, I do feel like he was lonely. Maybe he had been more successful in his goals. It'd feel like it's still worth it to live. That's it for today. If you want to support me, follow me on my Patreon, and if you want to talk to me or my community, join the Discord server. See you hopefully next time. Have a nice day.